Imagine an ancient world, when the oceans still receded far beyond the horizon, when humanity looked up at the sky and conversed with the stars. Across this planet, from the fiery deserts of Egypt to the windswept highlands of Peru, from the humid Amazon rainforest to remote islands in the middle of the ocean, hidden deep underground or standing majestically in nature, there exist megalithic structures that challenge all understanding of modern humanity. Enormous blocks of stone, weighing hundreds, even thousands of tons, are cut with almost absolute precision. A technique that challenges even the most precise laser machines. They stand there, braving the elements, defying time and human intellect. In their majestic silence, they seem to pose questions beyond comprehension. Who built them? By what means did they move and arrange these colossal stones in an era without steel, without the wheel, without modern machinery? Some structures seem to have existed even before the civilizations we consider the wellsprings of human engineering. Before Egypt, before Sumer, and perhaps even before recorded history. The massive walls of Baalbek, the mysterious stones of Pumapunku, or the submerged ruins like Yonaguni, all seem to recount a chapter erased from humanity's memory. A chapter that opens before the Great Flood. And amidst these ruins, a familiar sound still echoes, the memory of a global Great Flood. From the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia, where the gods sent waters to wipe out humanity, to the legends of the Hopi in North America that tell of the sea rising to eradicate evil. In the East, the Chinese passed down stories of furious waters that reshaped the land and sky, while the Aboriginal Australians tell of the sea rising to separate their continent forever. These stories cannot be mere coincidence. They come from cultures separated by oceans, mountains, and millennia. Yet they share a single memory of a colossal water catastrophe that ended an era of humankind. Some researchers suggest this is a remnant memory of real geological upheavals, a dramatic sea level rise as the last ice age melted around 12,000 years ago. But other scholars ask a different question. What if it was not just a legend, but the memory of a civilization that truly existed before the Great Flood? Because across the planet, from South America to Southeast Asia, from the Mediterranean to the Pacific, megalithic structures share astonishing characteristics. The same stone-fitting techniques, the same astronomical orientations, the same carved symbols. Could it be that they are all traces of a single global culture, swallowed by the sea and the earth's fury, leaving us only messages carved deep in stone? Perhaps these walls, these monuments, these colossal tombs are not just ruins, but final messages, a warning, a mark, or simply proof that they once existed. Today, mystery invites you to join us on a journey through time, a quest for memories buried under the mud of the Great Flood. Let us temporarily set aside the noisy world outside and let our minds listen to the deep echo from the stone, from the earth, from the megaliths that carry within them the secrets of the pre-flood era. Because perhaps when we decode them, we are not only looking at the past, but also seeing a reflection of the future, where history may repeat itself and the great cycles of the earth once again awaken. Hidden amidst the lush green mountains of Hyogo Prefecture, Japan, lies a stone wonder that has baffled archaeologists for decades. Ishi-no-Hōden also known by the enchanting name, the floating stone. Amidst a tranquil pond, the massive granite boulder seems to float on the water's surface, supported only by a small pillar submerged below. From a distance, it appears to defy the laws of gravity, creating a sense of unease mixed with astonishment in anyone who approaches, as if standing before a structure that does not belong to our time. According to measurements, the stone block is 6.4 meters long, 5.7 meters wide, 5.45 meters high, and weighs approximately 500 tons, equivalent to the weight of 3 Boeing 747 airplanes. But what makes researchers pause in silent awe is not just its colossal mass, but the almost absolute precision of the cuts on its surface. The entire block is machined smooth as a mirror, its corners perfectly square, and the traces of its quarrying do not match any stone or metal tools ever found in the region. Japan has no shortage of ancient stone-carved structures, but Ishi-no-Hōden transcends all known patterns. It does not resemble the Kofun tombs, lacks the carvings or inscriptions of Shinto shrines, and most notably, there are no records of its origin in ancient historical texts like the Kojiki or the Nihon Shoki, Japan's 2 oldest chronicles. This historical silence has given rise to countless theories. Some modern archaeologists suggest it might be the unfinished part of an ancient temple, abandoned after its builders changed their design or left the area. However, dating analyses using stratigraphy and paleolimnology of the algae under the pond have revealed something astounding. This stone block may have existed for over 10,000 years, meaning it predates the Yomon civilization, the first recorded civilization in Japan. This has led many scholars to question, could Ishi-no-Hōden be a remnant of a forgotten prehistoric civilization, possibly from the era before the Great Flood, when sea levels had not yet inundated the coastal lands of the Pacific? Local folklore in the Takasago region, where the stone is located, tells that it was the work of the god Hōden, the deity of construction and land, who used his divine power to create the stone in a single night. Other stories say it marks a place where gods once descended, and locals believe the spiritual energy from this stone brings luck and protection to the entire Hyogo region. Whether a product of human hands, divine beings, or a civilization buried by ancient seas, Ishi-no-Hōden stands resolute, unfaded by the passage of time. It is like a challenge to history, a reminder that what we call the beginning of civilization may only be a later chapter in a much longer story. Perhaps, when looking at the floating stone, we're not just admiring a strange structure, but also confronting a memory of the earth, where those who lived before the Great Flood left their mark in the only language that can transcend time: stone. Not far from Hyogo, in the Asuka region of Nara Prefecture, there exists an ancient stone block of peculiar and mysterious shape, Masuda-no-iwafune. This is one of Japan's most perplexing megalithic structures, leaving archaeologists and historians baffled for decades. This enormous granite boulder measures 11 meters long, 8 meters wide, and nearly 5 meters high, carved into a unique shape entirely different from any known tombs, shrines, or megalithic structures. At first glance, it evokes the feeling of a vehicle, a tool, or a ritualistic symbol forgotten over millennia. What is even more astonishing is that the stone surface is meticulously cut with symmetrical grooves and rectangular cavities, seemingly designed to connect with another structure. But that structure has completely vanished. Moreover, there are no excess stone fragments or debris nearby, which would be expected from any large-scale carving project. This has led to the hypothesis that Masuda-no-iwafune may have been carved elsewhere and then transported to Asuka. A nearly impossible task, considering its weight of hundreds of tons and ancient rudimentary technology. Researchers have also found that the orientation of Masuda-no-iwafune is related to astronomical phenomena, similar to other megalithic structures around the world, suggesting that ancient people may have tracked the cycles of the sun, moon, or specific stars to determine its placement. Some scholars suggest that the grooves and cavities on its surface may have once served as anchors for ritual objects or astronomical measuring devices. The true purpose of the stone remains an enigma. Was it an observatory, a place for religious rituals, or a technological relic of a lost civilization? Though no answer has been found, Masuda-no-iwafune stands there, majestic and silent, an enduring symbol of wisdom and engineering that transcends its time, challenging all modern explanations. Furthermore, the Asuka region was a cultural and political center from the Yamato period, where many complex rituals and religious architectures developed, which only strengthens the theory that Masuda-no-iwafune is deeply connected to ancient beliefs, or is a trace of a prehistoric civilization that later Japanese history has forgotten. Like Ishi-no-Hōden, Masuda-no-iwafune is a testament to the extraordinary wisdom and skill of prehistoric people, reminding us that there may have been civilizations that built structures far beyond the explanatory power of mainstream history. And these mysteries are still waiting for us to discover. What makes Ishi-no-Hōden and Masuda-no-iwafune even more mysterious and fascinating is not just their size or extraordinary construction techniques, but also the invisible thread connecting them to the ancient myths of Japan. The Hyogo and Nara regions are filled with legends of supernatural beings and magnificent civilizations that once existed before being erased by nature's wrath. In the Kojiki, Japan's oldest epic chronicle compiled in the year 712, there's a record of a chaotic period when the gods sent floods and storms to cleanse the earth, reshaping the land and creating a new order. These stories are not just myths. They bear astonishing similarities to great flood legends from around the globe, from the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia and the story of Noah in the Bible, to the legends of the Hopi in North America. Could it be that Ishi-no-Hōden and Masuda-no-iwafune are the very remnants of a pre-flood civilization, where technology and knowledge far surpassed modern capabilities, only to be submerged in a catastrophic global event? The fascination deepens with the realization that similar technological patterns, extremely precise stone cutting, colossal megaliths, sophisticated astronomical orientation, appear all over the world. From Baalbek in Lebanon and Pumapunku in Bolivia, to megalithic structures in Southeast Asia and the Indian Ocean. Perhaps all these structures originate from a common source, a forgotten global civilization. All that remains are traces in stone, like messages from the past, challenging modern intellect and reminding us that humans once achieved capabilities that are still difficult to explain today. Are you ready to join us on the journey to uncover these mysteries? Continue to follow, explore, and decode for yourself the traces that history never told. leaving the mysterious stone blocks of Japan. Our journey of discovery leads us to South America and the Mediterranean, where colossal megalithic structures, exquisitely cut and fitted, continue to challenge modern imagination. From the fortresses of Saksaywaman and Ollantaytambo in Peru to the submerged wall at Arwad, Syria, each stone is like a message from the past, revealing knowledge and techniques far beyond their time. Nestled on the majestic mountainsides near the city of Cusco, the fortress of Saksaywaman appears as a stone marvel, a testament to the extraordinary skill and wisdom of the ancient Andean civilizations. The walls here are made of enormous limestone boulders, some weighing up to 200 tons, equivalent to the weight of over 100 average cars, and are fitted together so tightly that not even a piece of paper can pass through the gaps. What astounds modern archaeologists and engineers is not just the immense size, but also the way the stone blocks softly curve with the mountain terrain, with some stones having as many as 12 different faces, crafted to fit perfectly with neighboring blocks. There is no mortar, no cement. It all relies on sophisticated calculations of weight, balance, and topography, an achievement that even today's technology would find difficult to replicate. The native Quechua people still preserve mythical legends of the time their ancestors built this fortress with the help of supernatural beings who could temporarily make the stones light or soft for easy transport and precise positioning. Researchers believe that beyond the legends, these stories reflect a civilization with a deep understanding of physics, mechanical engineering, and architecture, which has been lost to time and historical events. Furthermore, Saksaywaman was not just a defensive fortress. Archaeologists recognize it may have also served as a center for rituals, astronomy, and agricultural management. Connected to the vast system of temples and water channels of the Inca Empire, it is this combination of construction engineering, astronomical elements, and social function that makes this site a living testament to the timeless wisdom of the ancient Andeans, a mystery that continues to astonish the world. A few hundred kilometers northwest of Cusco, in the Sacred Valley, Ollantaytambo stands as another testament to timeless ancient stonework. Most prominent here is the Wall of the Six Monoliths, consisting of 6 monolithic granite blocks arranged in a perfect line. Each block weighs up to 50 tons, meticulously cut and fitted so tightly that no gap can be found. What stuns archaeologists is the origin of these stones. They were not sourced from the nearby area, but were quarried from a site 7 kilometers away, requiring them to be transported over treacherous terrain, across rivers, and up steep slopes to their final location. Even with modern technology, moving and placing these blocks would be an extremely significant challenge. The Quechua people passed down legendary tales of Viracocha, an ancient civilization with extraordinary knowledge and power, believed to have helped their ancestors move and arrange these massive stones. These legends, though mystical, reflect the genuine astonishment at the techniques and wisdom that ancient cultures may have possessed. In addition to their perfect arrangement, the stones were also cut to match each other's unique shapes, creating a stable system capable of withstanding earthquakes, which is critically important in the seismically active Andes region. This is clear evidence that the builders not only understood basic physics, but also had a firm grasp of geology, gravity, and architecture thousands of years ago. This wall, like many other megalithic structures in Peru, remains a great question for modern science. Was it the result of human hands or the assistance of lost technologies? This question still awaits an answer, opening up a journey of discovery not just into engineering, but into the mysteries of pre-flood civilizations. Off the Mediterranean coast, near Syria, the ancient island of Arwad holds a little-known mystery: a colossal megalithic wall, much of which is now submerged underwater. This is a living testament to ancient construction techniques that still astound archaeologists and engineers today. Diving expeditions have revealed enormous limestone blocks fitted tightly together without mortar, identical to the techniques at Saksaywaman and Ollantaytambo. Some stones are cut and placed with astonishing precision, far beyond what modern technology can explain. The fact that the wall is underwater suggests a rise in sea level, environmental shifts, or past global flood disasters. The Phoenicians, legendary sailors and traders, left very few records about this structure. But local legends tell of prosperous civilizations that were washed away by a great flood, leaving only these traces on the island of Arwad. As in Peru, these stories suggest that ancient people may have possessed knowledge and techniques far beyond our current understanding. And these giant stone structures are the silent proof of that wisdom. The Arwad Wall is not just a historical relic. It is a reminder from the past, connecting megalithic structures across the globe, from South America to Japan. It poses a haunting question. Did a global pre-flood civilization exist, now forgotten, leaving only stone traces as messages for modern humanity? Can modern humans decode the mysteries left by our ancient ancestors? Let us continue the journey as we delve deeper into these enigmatic stone structures, where each stone is not just material, but a hidden message from a distant past. On the Golan Heights, where the wind blows across open grasslands and volcanic rocks stretch to the horizon, exists a mystery that time seems to have forgotten. Rujm el-Hiri, which in Arabic means stone heap of the wild cat. Unlike the megalithic structures in Japan, Peru, or under the Syrian Sea, Rujm el-Hiri is not just a pile of stones, but a sophisticated astronomical design, demonstrating wisdom, organization, and engineering far beyond our current understanding. This ancient structure consists of several massive concentric stone circles, which have stood on the barren fields for thousands of years. The largest circle has a diameter of 160 meters, and the total mass of the stones exceeds 42,000 tons. A testament to the extraordinary organizational and technical abilities of its builders some 5,000 years ago, nearly concurrently with the early Bronze Age. From the ground, the site appears as scattered basalt piles, but from above, its perfect layout is revealed. Concentric circles arranged as neatly as ripples spreading from a central cairn, demonstrating a phenomenal planning vision. Archaeologists agree that the site likely held considerable importance for its builders, but precisely why it was constructed remains uncertain. What is particularly fascinating about Rujm el-Hiri is its clear alignment with astronomical events. On the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the first rays of the rising sun shine directly through the structure's entrance, illuminating its central mound. This precise solar alignment strongly suggests that the ancient builders possessed significant astronomical knowledge and intentionally designed the structure to track the seasonal cycles. Adding to the intrigue are the discoveries from excavations inside the central mound. Archaeologists have found a burial chamber deep within, dating slightly later than the circles. This indicates the site may have served various ritual or ceremonial functions over the centuries, perhaps related to venerating ancestors, marking seasonal changes, or commemorating celestial events. However, no definitive explanation fully resolves the site's original purpose, leaving archaeologists and historians with more questions than answers. Local folklore enriches the mystery of Rujm el-Hiri. Among neighboring communities, especially the Druze people living in the region, legends vividly tell of giants who once roamed this land. According to these traditions, these massive beings effortlessly constructed colossal structures overnight, carrying enormous boulders with their bare hands. Such stories might sound exaggerated today, but intriguingly, they echo similar myths found in cultures across the world. From the giants believed to have built Stonehenge in England, to those credited with erecting the megaliths of ancient Armenia. Other regional legends describe an advanced ancient society that once thrived here, skilled in astronomy and architecture, whose civilization abruptly vanished without a clear trace. These tales offer fascinating glimpses into how ancient people explained the mysterious structures left behind by forgotten preceding societies. What we know for certain is that the builders of Rujm el-Hiri were organized, knowledgeable, and capable of coordinating large groups of people to achieve ambitious projects. They carefully planned the placement of each boulder, aligning their structure precisely with celestial events. Even today, standing within its concentric circles under the vast sky, visitors cannot help but feel something special about this place, an ancient connection that links humanity to the rhythms of nature and the cosmos. Although Rujm el-Hiri is largely overlooked by popular archaeology, its presence on the Golan Heights continues to inspire curiosity and fascination. Whether built by ancient astronomers, forgotten cultures, or legendary giants, this remarkable stone complex quietly invites all who visit to appreciate the mysteries of our shared past. Each stone at Rujm el-Hiri is not just material, but a hidden message from a distant past, challenging our intellect and inviting us to explore undeciphered mysteries. Are you ready to step into this concentric circle, to feel the ancient rhythm of the universe and the wisdom of lost civilizations? Leaving the ancient stone circles of the Golan Heights, our journey takes us into the vast, sun-scorched desert of Saudi Arabia, where every sand dune and rock formation holds mysteries thousands of years old. Amidst this harsh landscape, Al-Naslaa stands out as a surreal phenomenon. A massive sandstone boulder split perfectly in two, with a crack so straight and a surface so smooth, it seems impossibly crafted by a hand greater than nature's. Two massive sandstone blocks sit side by side, separated by an incredibly precise, clean, and straight vertical fissure that looks more like the work of a modern laser than anything nature could produce. Each half is delicately balanced on a small, naturally formed pedestal, giving them an elegant, almost gravity-defying appearance. However, what immediately captures one's attention is the astounding precision of the cut between the two stones. Extending several meters in height, the fissure divides them with a perfectly straight, sharp line that often makes observers question its natural origins. Even trained geologists, familiar with countless examples of weathering and erosion, are struck by the remarkable perfection of the Al-Naslaa rock formation. Scientific explanations have been proposed, suggesting that natural geological processes such as seismic activity, wind erosion, or pressure changes within the rock layers could account for this unusual fissure. However, none of these theories fully satisfy all experts. The smoothness and symmetry of the crack are simply too precise to be comfortably attributed entirely to nature, leaving intriguing possibilities open. Adding another layer of mystery are the remarkable petroglyphs etched onto the sandstone surface of Al-Naslaa. Believed to be thousands of years old, these ancient carvings depict various animals, human figures, and abstract shapes, offering a fascinating glimpse into the early inhabitants of the region. But what connection do these carvings have with the mysterious split? Could the creators of these petroglyphs also have been responsible for, or at least inspired by, the remarkable geological anomaly beside them? Given the extraordinary precision involved, some researchers speculate that ancient people with advanced knowledge or tools might have intentionally created the split. Such a theory naturally raises questions about what kind of technology could have been available to them. Traditional historical understanding suggests that the societies living in this desert region thousands of years ago possessed only basic tools: stone and bronze chisels, hammers, and simple levers. Yet, even today, cutting a rock of this size with modern technology and achieving a similarly precise cut would be a challenging and laborious undertaking. Could an ancient civilization have had access to methods far beyond what conventional history acknowledges? No direct historical records definitively answer this question, yet local Arabian folklore offers intriguing clues. Legends from the region speak of ancient tribes who had mastered stone, able to shape it with ease using strange and unidentified tools. These stories often interweave mythological elements, describing beings or people with extraordinary powers who could alter the consistency of rock, making it soft or malleable. At Al-Naslaa, scientists continue to debate and investigate the rock's origins. Some geologists theorize that seismic activity in the distant past created stress fractures, which eventually caused the rock to break so cleanly. Others point to ancient volcanic activity, suggesting that superheated groundwater may have weakened certain mineral layers within the sandstone, leading to the precise split we see today. Still, no single scenario has fully convinced skeptics, leaving room for alternative interpretations and debates. It is fascinating to consider what observers thousands of years ago might have thought upon encountering this strange rock. Did they view it as evidence of divine or supernatural intervention? Was this location intentionally chosen for petroglyphs because they saw something special or sacred in its appearance? Ancient cultures often revered unusual natural landmarks, attributing special meaning or spiritual significance to them, and Al-Naslaa certainly qualifies as extraordinary. Local Bedouin traditions add flavor to the mystery. Stories shared among tribes describe ancient times when powerful beings or skilled craftsmen inhabited the land, leaving subtle traces of their presence, marks and monuments that served as symbolic guides or reminders of their existence. Could the precisely split rocks of Al-Naslaa represent such an intentionally placed monument, its meaning and message now lost to history? Whatever its true origin, whether entirely natural, man-made, or something in between, the Al-Naslaa rock formation continues to fascinate and perplex visitors today. Tourists, historians, and scientists alike make the journey into the harsh desert to witness this baffling geological oddity for themselves. Its distinctive, almost artistic appearance and the unanswered questions surrounding its creation ensure that it remains a favorite subject for speculation and wonder. Perhaps one day, new discoveries or advanced scientific analysis will finally clarify exactly how this mysterious rock came to be. Until then, Al-Naslaa stands silently under the desert sun, a stone enigma that invites anyone who encounters it to ponder its mysteries, consider its origins, and imagine the untold stories etched deep within its perfect cut. Now, let us embark on a journey to the land of Egypt, famous for its ancient wonders, yet home to lesser-known sites that are no less captivating. Tucked quietly behind the temple of Seti the Wurst at Abydos is a subterranean structure known as the Osireion, a mysterious complex that many believe predates even the oldest ancient Egyptian dynasties. The Osireion is completely distinct from typical Egyptian architecture. Partially hidden underground, this ancient complex gives the feeling that you might be exploring deep within a lost civilization rather than behind a well-documented temple. Descending into the Osireion is like stepping back into another era, one even more ancient than the Great Pyramids or the Sphinx. The Osireion consists of a series of massive granite pillars arranged precisely around a central island, forming a symmetrical chamber partially flooded with groundwater. Each of these colossal pillars weighs around 100 tons, shaped and placed with astonishing precision. Unlike the intricate hieroglyphs and detailed carvings that adorn most Egyptian temples, the surfaces here are remarkably smooth, simple, and rustic. The stonework displays incredible craftsmanship, with precisely straight edges, sharp corners, and perfect joints, all achieved without mortar, similar to the megalithic walls found in distant Peru or the Mediterranean. This architectural style is distinct from traditional ancient Egyptian methods. Typical Egyptian temples, like the nearby Temple of Seti, feature ornate inscriptions, colorful murals, and elaborate reliefs. The Osireion, however, lacks this decorative splendor. Instead, it exudes a minimalist, almost modern sophistication in its simplicity. This stark difference in style has led researchers to wonder if the Osireion might not be Egyptian at all, but perhaps inherited from an even older civilization. Historical records and archaeological evidence have struggled to date the Osireion definitively. Mainstream Egyptologists attribute it to Pharaoh Seti I around 1290–1279 BC. However, the evidence is not entirely clear, and many researchers argue that the structure is much older, possibly by thousands of years, citing its unique design, construction methods, and the water erosion patterns on the stone surfaces as evidence. These erosion patterns, notably documented by alternative historians, resemble the famous patterns found on the body of the Great Sphinx at Giza, suggesting exposure to significant flooding or prolonged rainfall events, conditions that long predate the recognized dynastic periods of Egypt. This observation raises intriguing possibilities about the region's climate and environmental conditions thousands of years before mainstream history recognizes large-scale Egyptian civilization. Egyptian mythology adds another layer of fascination to the mystery surrounding the Osireion. According to legend, the site honors Osiris, the god of the afterlife and rebirth, who ancient Egyptians believed brought civilization, wisdom, and culture to humanity. Local traditions hold that the Osireion was intentionally built to symbolize the tomb of Osiris, linking the structure closely with ancient myths of a golden age, when gods and demigods interacted directly with humans. The Egyptians themselves always maintained that many of their sacred places, especially those associated with Osiris, were not their original creations. Instead, they described inheriting temples and sacred structures from a much older culture, a civilization they described as highly advanced and directly connected to divine beings or gods. These legends speak of beings called the Shemsu-Hor, or followers of Horus, demigod rulers who reigned over Egypt long before its recorded history began. The Shemsu-Hor are credited in ancient texts with establishing advanced cultural traditions, monumental architecture, and complex spiritual beliefs. Could the Osireion be one of these legendary inherited structures? Its architecture certainly fits the descriptions the Egyptians gave of these early divine constructions. Massive scale, precise workmanship, and distinctive building methods unlike anything else from the recognized dynastic periods. This raises fascinating questions about Egypt's historical timeline and the true origins of its earliest monuments, deepening the intrigue. Researchers note that the Osireion shares sophisticated architectural features and construction techniques with other mysterious ancient sites around the world, particularly Peru's Saksaywaman or Turkey's Göbekli Tepe. Such similarities hint at a shared knowledge or methodology that existed in a distant past, potentially predating the established histories of these separate cultures. However, despite intense archaeological interest and modern research, the Osireion remains an unsolved puzzle. Water continuously fills its chambers, limiting detailed excavation and study, preserving its secrets beneath a shallow pool that has existed since antiquity. Visitors today still marvel at its elegant beauty and imposing presence, capturing the imagination without revealing its true origins. Guides and local historians near Abydos often speak of the Osireion with a mixture of reverence and curiosity, recounting stories passed down through generations that hint at lost civilizations and divine beings who once walked alongside mortals. Today, the Osireion keeps its mysteries beneath the groundwater, restricting detailed excavation and research. Visitors, archaeologists, and historians must still pause before the structure's minimalist yet majestic beauty, wondering about its true origins and purpose. Local guides pass down stories from generation to generation about lost civilizations and divine beings who once graced this land. These legends echo like whispers from a distant era, reminding us that Egyptian history still holds many undeciphered mysteries. As archaeologists continue to study Abydos, perhaps one day the secrets of the Osireion will be revealed. But until then, this structure stands firm, challenging the imagination and understanding of modern man. And have you ever wondered what mysteries the Osireion is hiding beneath its tranquil waters, yet to be discovered? Imagine if we could see what has been lost. Would you want to be the first to step into this ancient world? Leaving the sun-scorched landscapes of Egypt, our journey takes us across the Mediterranean Sea to the Iberian Peninsula, where southern Spain conceals an ancient and mysterious structure. The Dolmen de Soto. Nestled among peaceful fields and rolling hills near the town of Trigueros, this dolmen is a living testament to the megalithic construction skills of prehistoric communities some 5,000 years ago. Though its exterior is modestly covered by an earthen mound, its interior opens up to a magical world of ancient architecture and astronomy. The Dolmen de Soto extends for nearly 21 meters, leading to a central chamber formed by massive vertical stones, each weighing several tons, selected and placed with great sophistication. This arrangement not only ensures structural stability, but also creates a visually and spatially impressive experience. The surfaces of the stone slabs are engraved with intricate patterns, spirals, abstract designs, and stylized symbols, all demonstrating a uniformity and intentionality in design. Although the exact meaning of the carvings remains a mystery, they suggest a culture rich in symbolism and capable of communication through a visual language far ahead of its time. What is most remarkable about the Dolmen de Soto is its precise astronomical alignment. The entrance faces east, and on the days of the equinoxes, the times when day and night are of equal length, the rising sunlight penetrates the corridor, shining directly into the center of the chamber and illuminating the ancient carvings. This phenomenon not only highlights the astronomical knowledge of its builders, but also suggests the dolmen's ritualistic role, possibly related to seasonal festivals, ancestor worship, or marking important agricultural cycles. Recent studies also indicate that the dolmen may have been used as a solar time tracking device, similar to other megalithic structures in Europe, from Newgrange in Ireland to the Cairn de Gavrinis in France, suggesting that astronomical knowledge was either shared or developed concurrently among ancient cultures. The Dolmen de Soto is not just a tomb. It is an expression of the superior wisdom, construction skill, and astronomical understanding of prehistoric communities. Standing in the long corridor, amidst the sunlight streaming through and the mysterious carvings on the stone, visitors can still feel the deep connection between ancient people and nature, a delicate rhythm between earth, stone, and sky that they skillfully captured through architecture and light. Amidst the tranquil Boyne Valley, a circular mound is more than just earth and stone. It is Newgrange, where sunlight tells a story thousands of years old. Built around 3200 BC, Newgrange is older than both Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza, offering a magnificent glimpse into the wisdom and craftsmanship of Europe's prehistoric communities. From the outside, Newgrange appears as a smooth, circular mound covered in green grass. But as one approaches, the complexity of the structure becomes apparent. Huge vertical stones form the facade, interspersed with white quartz slabs, making it both sturdy and brilliant in the light. The tomb is over 80 meters wide and about 13 meters high, standing majestically in the countryside. But the real magic lies deep within. Visitors pass through a narrow, 19-meter-long entrance that leads to the tomb's center, where a cross-shaped chamber with 3 niches awaits. Every stone's surface is intricately carved with elaborate motifs, spirals, circles, zigzags, and abstract geometric patterns, all expressing a complex symbolic language. These motifs are reminiscent of the Dolmen de Soto in Spain, suggesting an artistic and astronomical tradition that may have spread across ancient Europe. What makes Newgrange most remarkable is its perfect astronomical alignment. On the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, a narrow beam of light from a roof box above the entrance travels through the stone corridor, illuminating the center of the chamber. The moment the sunlight penetrates deep into the interior, lighting up the ancient carvings, creates a spectacle that is both magical and precise to the centimeter. This phenomenon is not accidental, but a testament to the incredible astronomical, mathematical, and engineering knowledge of Newgrange's builders. Irish folklore adds a layer of mystique to the tomb. The ancients told that Newgrange was built by the Tuatha De Danann, an ancient race with supernatural powers, reflecting the awe and reverence later generations had for this structure. Both the Dolmen de Soto in Spain and Newgrange in Ireland highlight an incredible level of sophistication and careful planning by ancient societies. Yet their builders shared common practices: precise astronomical alignments, intricate carvings, and massive stone construction. While we may never fully understand all the motives behind these structures, their existence speaks volumes about the ingenuity and creativity of the people who built them. From the rolling hills of Ireland's Newgrange tomb, we now journey southeast, across Europe and into the rugged landscapes of Lebanon, to a site that has fascinated travelers for thousands of years. Baalbek. Located in the fertile Bekaa Valley, Baalbek contains some of the most astonishing megalithic stones ever carved and set in place by human hands. Yet, despite centuries of study, how ancient people accomplished this feat remains a profound mystery. Upon entering the Baalbek complex, the first sensation is one of smallness before its immense scale. Prominent are the Roman temples, including the Temple of Jupiter, the Temple of Bacchus, and the Temple of Venus, built some 2,000 years ago. Each is impressive in its own right. But beneath these Roman structures lies a foundation of massive stone blocks, so large and precisely placed that they dwarf even the engineering of the Romans. This foundation is known today as the Trilithon. 3 enormous limestone blocks, each weighing approximately 800 tons. To visualize that weight, consider this. Each stone is roughly equivalent to 2 fully loaded jumbo jets. Even more astonishingly, these stones were not just crudely moved into position. They were cut, shaped, transported, and set with pinpoint accuracy. The edges between these colossal stones fit so tightly together that no mortar or binding agent was needed. Thousands of years later, it is still impossible to slip a piece of paper into the cracks. While the Trilithon stones alone are impressive, Baalbek has another stone known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, which still lies in a nearby quarry. This stone weighs a staggering 1,000 tons, making it one of the largest single carved stones ever created by humans. Just imagining how this massive block was intended to be moved, let alone positioned into a structure, can make modern engineers scratch their heads. Even today, using our most powerful cranes and transport equipment, maneuvering and placing stones of this size would be incredibly challenging. This poses a fascinating puzzle. How exactly did ancient people, equipped with what we assume were basic tools and simple machines, accomplish this monumental task? The stones of Baalbek were not just crudely dragged short distances. The quarry that supplied these massive blocks is located nearly a kilometer away, meaning the builders needed not only to lift them, but also to transport them over uneven, uphill terrain. Historians and archaeologists have proposed various theories over the decades. Some suggest that complex systems of rollers, ropes, ramps, and thousands of laborers could have slowly moved the stones into place. Others argue that such methods are physically impractical, given the sheer size and weight of the stones. Modern experiments using ancient tools have struggled to replicate even a fraction of the necessary movement, often running into problems with friction, terrain, and manpower. However, Lebanese folklore offers a rather different and admittedly more colorful explanation. Stories passed down through generations vividly tell of giant beings who once roamed this valley, possessing immense strength and special powers. According to legend, these giants effortlessly lifted the massive stones, setting them into the foundations and temple walls as easily as a child stacks building blocks. While legends of giants may sound fantastical today, ancient people genuinely believed these stories to be historical fact. In fact, many cultures worldwide make reference to giants or large humanoid beings responsible for constructing massive structures. In Lebanon specifically, local tales describe these giant beings as demigod ancestors or great heroes who shaped their landscape with ease, leaving traces of their power in monumental works like Baalbek. Beyond local folklore, historical texts also provide fascinating insights. Ancient Greek and Roman writers who visited the region thousands of years ago recorded their astonishment at Baalbek's massive stones. Writing around the 1st century AD, the Roman historian Pliny the Elder marveled at the temple's foundations, attributing their construction to unknown ancient peoples or mythical figures from the distant past. It is noteworthy that while Roman architects were masters of engineering, their constructions typically featured smaller stones and bricks, bound together with mortar and concrete. The massive stones of Baalbek clearly predate the Romans. When the Romans arrived, they built upon this existing foundation, seemingly recognizing its durability and stability. Yet, the Romans themselves left no records clearly explaining who built the colossal megalithic platform beneath their temples. The current archaeological consensus suggests that the Trilithon stones of Baalbek belong to an earlier Phoenician or Canaanite civilization, dating back perhaps 3,000 or 4,000 years. However, according to our historical records, these ancient societies also possessed relatively simple technology and lacked sophisticated engineering equipment. This discrepancy leaves a baffling gap in our understanding. If neither the Romans nor the earlier recorded civilizations had the technological capacity to move these stones, then who did? A visit to Baalbek today remains awe-inspiring. Tourists and scholars alike wander among these colossal stones, marveling at their sheer scale and craftsmanship. Archaeologists and engineers continue to investigate, hoping new discoveries or advanced methods might shed light on exactly how the ancient builders achieved these incredible feats. Meanwhile, the local community remains understandably proud of this remarkable heritage. Lebanese guides often recount the ancient legends of giants to visitors with a mix of humor and respect, acknowledging the mystery while preserving the storytelling traditions of their ancestors. Adding to the intrigue is the careful precision observed not only in the placement, but also in the cutting of these stones. Close inspection reveals surfaces that appear to be expertly machined rather than crudely carved by hand. Some researchers speculate that the ancient builders may have possessed methods or techniques now lost or unrecognized. Special types of chisels, diamond-tipped tools, or unknown leveraging devices. However, Archaeological excavations around Baalbek have yet to reveal any definitive tools or equipment to explain the perfect shaping of the stones. One thing is undeniable. Whoever built the foundations of Baalbek possessed both a profound knowledge of stonework and extraordinary organizational ability. The planning, shaping, moving, and precise placement of each massive block required coordinated teams, expert knowledge of physical and engineering principles, and perhaps, if local legends are considered for a moment, even unusual physical strength. The colossal scale, precise engineering, and enduring mystery of the Baalbek stones continue to capture the imagination. They stand as a tangible testament to human, or perhaps superhuman, ambition, skill, and determination. Whether the product of ancient engineering genius or mythical giants, the megalithic foundations of Baalbek remain one of the world's most enigmatic monuments, quietly challenging visitors to uncover its ancient secrets. Let us continue with mystery, gliding across the ocean and over the majestic mountains of South America to the rugged highlands of Peru. Overlooking the cool blue waters of Lake Umayo near Puno, Silustani emerges as a mysterious treasure of ancient civilization. Soaring stone towers, known by the indigenous people as chulpas, stand silently against the windswept landscape, challenging both imagination and modern understanding. The chulpas are built from large, exquisitely cut stones, perfectly assembled into circular structures, some reaching nearly 12 meters in height. As you approach, you realize these are no ordinary ruins. The smooth, polished blocks fit together without mortar, reminiscent of other sophisticated stone constructions like Saksaywaman or Ollantaytambo. The precision at Silustani rivals that of any ancient structure in the world. But the chulpas are not just monuments or ceremonial structures. Originally, they served as burial towers for important leaders or priests. Inside, many chulpas contained mummies placed in a fetal position, surrounded by offerings such as pottery, food, and valuable items for the journey to the afterlife. The big question remains: why were these towers built with such extraordinary precision and care? One of the unique features of the chulpas is their distinctive architectural technique. Unlike other simple stacked stone constructions, the large blocks were finely carved and placed with a slight inward tilt, providing superior stability that has helped them withstand centuries of earthquakes and harsh weather. A testament to the deep engineering knowledge of the ancients. Indigenous legends add another layer of mystery. According to stories passed down through generations, these stone towers were not built by ordinary humans, but by ancient giant beings called Gentiles, a powerful, advanced civilization. These beings, taller and stronger than the people of that time, were said to have lifted the massive stones into place with ease, leaving their extraordinary architectural mark on the highlands. Though this may sound like a myth today, these stories are still preserved in Quechua and Aymara culture, reflecting the awe and respect for the mysterious creations of their ancestors. Archaeological research around Lake Umayo has revealed intriguing clues. Geological evidence indicates that the area experienced major floods thousands of years ago, which could have submerged settlements and caused this advanced civilization to disappear, leaving only the stone towers as witnesses. Additionally, the chulpas possess sophisticated ventilation and drainage systems, maintaining ideal conditions inside to preserve the remains, demonstrating a construction method that was intentional and astonishingly clever. Today, visitors to Silustani still walk among the towering stone towers, feeling the mysterious atmosphere and pondering the lost civilization that created them. Against the stark beauty of the shores of Lake Umayo, the Shulpas stand as enduring witnesses, reminding us that the story of an ancient people now echoes only through legends and extraordinary stone architecture. As modern archaeologists continue to excavate and study, each new discovery may reveal more about those who built them and their fate. But while we await answers, it is this very mystery that fuels our imagination. Have you ever wondered? Were these colossal stones lifted by human hands, or by the hands of the mythical beings that Andean legends still speak of? Imagine yourself standing among these towers, the cold wind from Lake Umayo swirling around you, and feeling each stone weighing tons under the morning light. If you want to explore more of the hidden mysteries of Silustani, don't miss the chance to learn in detail about the history, legends, and extraordinary construction techniques of these towers. And you, what would you do if you could set foot in the world of these Andean mysteries? Let your curiosity lead the way, and share your thoughts today. In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, an isolated island appears like a kingdom forgotten by time. Known to its native people as Rapa Nui, this place holds colossal stone mysteries that the modern world has yet to fully comprehend. The towering Moai statues, their gazes fixed out to sea, as if silently guarding stories buried by time. Every stone, every feature on the island evokes a quiet power, leaving anyone who sets foot there in awe of the imagination and ambition of the people who erected them. Scattered across the rugged landscape of Easter Island are nearly 900 giant stone statues, known as moai, carved from single blocks of volcanic rock. Their sizes vary, but many stand tall on the land, averaging about 4 meters in height and weighing up to 14 tons. The largest moai ever attempted, known as El Gigante, still lies unfinished in the Rano Raraku quarry. If completed, this statue would have stood about 21 meters tall and weighed over 250 tons, a challenge that even modern engineering would find daunting. What astounds everyone who first sees the moai is their exquisite craftsmanship. Each was carefully carved from volcanic tuff, a relatively soft rock that still required extraordinary skill. The faces of the moai follow consistent features: heavy brows, long noses, finely sculpted lips, and large eyes that were originally inlaid with coral and obsidian, creating a powerful gaze, though many of these have been lost over time. But carving was only the first step. These statues had to be moved significant distances, from the quarry to the ceremonial platforms, or ahu, along the coast. How they did this remains a mystery. Many moai stand on platforms far from the quarry, their backs to the sea, indicating that transporting them over rugged terrain was incredibly difficult, even by modern standards. Theories about how the moai were transported are diverse. Some archaeologists suggest the Rapa Nui people used wooden sleds and log rollers, pulling the statues with ropes. However, this method would have required a large amount of wood, a scarce resource on the island. Another theory, passed down through local oral tradition, suggests the moai walked across the island. Modern experiments have shown that the statues could be moved upright, by rocking them back and forth with ropes, simulating a slow walking motion. While possible, this method remains a topic of debate among experts. Local legends say the moai were once animated by spiritual power, moving to their positions by magic, emphasizing the monumental and incomprehensible nature of the transport to the islanders themselves. The statues represented chiefs and ancestors, protecting their descendants, and they still maintain a sacred role in the Rapa Nui consciousness. Easter Island becomes even more mysterious when considering its story of cultural collapse. The island society was once prosperous, with an estimated population of 10,000 to 15,000 people, skillfully farming and harvesting seafood, and organizing a vast network of cooperation to build and move the moai. But around the 17th to 18th centuries, everything changed abruptly. Archaeological layers from this period show conflict, declining resources, and a halt in moai production. Many unfinished statues still lie abandoned at the quarry, as if their creators vanished in an instant. The island's population plummeted, and society disintegrated into small groups struggling for survival. The cause of this decline remains a mystery. Many studies point to environmental stress, overexploitation of resources, particularly the trees needed for transport and agriculture, leading to soil erosion and reduced productivity. However, environmental factors may not explain the whole story. Recent sediment layers reveal signs of severe climate stress, droughts, storms, and even tsunamis caused by distant seismic events. These sudden disasters could have dealt a severe blow to Rapa Nui society. Local legends tell of giant waves destroying villages, reinforcing the possibility that the island's culture once suffered from intense natural disasters. Today, visitors wandering among the silent rows of moai cannot help but feel a deep connection to an ancient culture that once thrived on this remote island. Many statues still face inland with solemn dignity, as if guarding the secrets of how they were carved, moved, and what led to the disappearance of the people who erected them. As we look back on our journey exploring ancient sites around the world, from colossal stone circles and sophisticated astronomical alignments to extraordinary carvings and architecture, an obvious question arises. Could all these monuments be the surviving remnants of advanced societies that once existed, only to be disrupted or wiped out by catastrophic floods millennia ago? To better understand this compelling hypothesis, let us look at the geological and climatic changes that swept across the Earth between 10,000 and 5,000 BC. This period saw our planet undergo powerful transformations as the last ice age came to an end. As massive ice sheets melted and receded, sea levels rose rapidly, sometimes inundating vast coastal regions overnight. Scientific research indicates that global sea levels rose by more than 120 meters, enough to reshape continents, swallow land masses, and permanently alter the course of human civilization. What is particularly significant is that this rise was not gradual or gentle. Instead, researchers now recognize it occurred in a series of dramatic events, sometimes creating widespread floods within just a few generations. Coastal areas that were once vibrant centers, densely populated and rich in resources, ideal for agriculture and settlement, were wiped out, forcing people to migrate inland. Could these sudden floods explain why ancient cultures across the world preserve stories of great deluges in their legends? Underwater archaeological discoveries offer convincing clues. In the seas off the coast of Yonaguni Island in Japan, divers have found structures resembling man-made stone blocks, suggesting an ancient settlement or ritual site now submerged. Similarly, relics off the coast of India, such as at Dwarka, reveal sophisticated architecture dating back long before recorded history. These structures support the hypothesis that rising sea levels submerged vast inhabited lands, which may have once been centers of advanced civilizations, now lying deep beneath the ocean. The idea of an ancient civilization spanning continents and oceans may sound like a bold dream, but it becomes more credible when we consider the strange similarities in architecture and symbolism between sites thousands of kilometers apart. The consistent appearance of complex astronomical structures, sophisticated construction techniques, and recurring symbolic motifs, spirals, animal figures, or the mysterious handbag carvings that appear from Göbekli Tepe to ancient Central America, suggest a common source of inspiration, or at least widespread cultural exchange that existed in prehistoric times. Some researchers propose that there may have been an ancient global civilization that reached a peak in engineering, knowledge, and culture, but was abruptly cut off by intense environmental disasters. The surviving remnants of this civilization are believed to have passed on inspiration, knowledge, and symbols to subsequent societies scattered across the world. Although mainstream archaeology remains cautious about the global civilization hypothesis, recent findings continually challenge traditional thinking. Thanks to advances in underwater archaeology, satellite imagery, and geological analysis, many previously unknown ancient sites are gradually being revealed, many submerged under the sea, others buried under thick layers of vegetation and sediment. Each new discovery strengthens the possibility that large-scale global floods had a profound impact on early societies, forcing them to migrate and permanently changing the course of history. Furthermore, the widespread myths across cultures reinforce the idea of a collective memory of a watery cataclysm. From the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia and the biblical story of Noah's flood, to the indigenous traditions in Australia, China, or North America, nearly every ancient civilization remembers a devastating water event. These legends often tell of the destruction of entire civilizations, leaving only a few survivors who carried with them fragments of knowledge, technology, and symbols from the lost cultures. Could this be a real memory of the environmental upheavals that wiped out civilizations, reshaped history, and left only stone monuments as a reminder? While the evidence is still incomplete, the pattern of these global myths aligns impressively with scientific data on the dramatic floods at the end of the Ice Age. What we know for certain is that ancient civilizations possessed extraordinary skills and a deep knowledge of astronomy, engineering, and art. From Göbekli Tepe, the Moai of Easter Island, the megalithic walls of Saksaywaman, to underwater structures around the world, all demonstrate the incredible creativity, innovation, and adaptability of humans in the face of environmental challenges. The true value of exploring theories about lost civilizations and global floods lies not just in proving or disproving them, but in the ability to expand our horizons, question our assumptions, and embrace the unsolved mysteries of our shared human history. Our past is far more complex, interconnected, and fascinating than traditionally imagined. The stories from across continents and cultures invite endless curiosity and exploration. reminding us that so much still awaits discovery beneath the oceans, deserts, jungles, and even within time itself. Our journey today may have come to an end, but the questions still echo unanswered. From the mysterious floating stones of Japan to the colossal megalithic walls of Peru, from the submerged Osireion in Egypt to the astronomical circles on the Golan Heights, we are not just observing isolated structures. They are transcontinental traces, patterns repeated over millennia, evidence of sophisticated stone-fitting techniques, a deep understanding of the cosmos, and memories of giant beings or gods who once existed in the distant past. Could all of this be revealing a greater truth? A global civilization that once reached the pinnacle of knowledge and technology before being submerged by natural disasters. The great deluges, the massive floods, may not be just myths, but memories preserved in the immortal language of stone. The survivors, scattered far and wide, carried with them fragments of a lost world and sowed the seeds for later civilizations. Perhaps we are not the pinnacle of evolution. We are simply the heirs to a legacy we have forgotten. These stones are not just relics. They are silent teachers. They teach us about humility, that our civilization, with all its modern technology, may also be just a brief chapter in the great chronicle of the earth, and that the grand cycles of destruction and rebirth may be waiting ahead. Could it be that in their messages there is a warning for us? The final answer may still be out of reach, but we want to hear your thoughts. Which theory do you believe in most? And which megalithic structure has left an unforgettable impression on you? Please share your views in the comments section below. Here at Mystery, we believe the journey of seeking answers is as important as the answers themselves. If you are also someone who never stops asking questions and yearns to discover hidden truths, become a part of our community. Like this video to support us, share it with like-minded souls, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any adventures into the land of the unknown. Thank you for joining Mystery on this journey.